I was on an airplane. I was coming back from Lisbon, Spain I was coming from Venice, Italy to Lisbon, Portugal, excuse me, to New York. And on the plane from Venice to Lisbon, I was seated in the very front row of the airplane. And I was sitting there noticing that the seats in front of me, I've always flown Southwest and the seats are all the same. All the seating is all exactly the same. But on this airline, they had first class and then the rest of everybody else. And I was part of the rest of everybody else. And I didn't think anything different until they pulled the curtain closed. And I sat there and went, wait a second here. Why did that curtain get closed? And I sat there feeling I wasn't sure how I was feeling. I wasn't sure if I was like, oh, I'm missing out. That really wasn't it. And I wasn't sure if I was like, I hate those people. They're in first class and I'm not. Because that really wasn't it either. I didn't actually have to dig really strong. I didn't need like a ton of strength because that wasn't like an area of weakness of mine. But I just knew that I would be in first class one day. I knew that maybe it wasn't that plane trip, but that was okay. But that I would be there and I would experience that as time went on. But I could hear different things like clanking behind the curtains. I could hear, we weren't getting any water or anything in the back, but I could hear drinks being poured because I was so close to the front. So we landed, everybody got off the plane, and I went to go buy a thing of sardines for my 8-year-old because I hadn't bought him anything and he loves sardines and I'm such a good gift giver. And so I was seriously buying him sardines from this sardine shop, which looked like it should have been a jelly bean shop, but it was sardines instead of jelly beans. And so that it was good because he likes sardines. So I went in and I was buying him, and I'm buying him sardines, and there is another guy that's in there, and he's standing there, and he is an American, and he starts talking to me about sardines and about fish, canned fish, and all these different things. We end up having this whole big, huge conversation. Well, then after that, our conversation just continues, and so then we end up going and eating lunch together. We have this huge conversation, and he's telling me all of this work that he does, and he is a negotiator. And so he's telling me all of this crazy, interesting work that he's doing. And that man has to be strong to do negotiations. I'm telling you, strength, that guy had it. So we get to the plane, and we're going on the same plane. Kind of ironic. We're both going to New York. So we go to get on the plane, and I go to stand in the line with everybody else, and he goes, no, come with me. And I said, no, I'm not, I'm C boarding, you're probably A. He's like, no, I'm first class. He's like, come on, let's go. So he said, just follow along like you're supposed to be here. I said, okay, sounds good. So I just followed along with him, and like they let him on, they let me on too. And they didn't question it at all. They looked at my stuff, noticed it. I saw a guy kind of, you could go. And he let me on the plane. And that was all right. He let me go. And then they couldn't read what it was on my phone was my boarding pass. That was what it was. I didn't have a paper boarding pass. So once I got onto the plane, I had no idea where I was supposed to sit. So the guy, he's sitting in first class. He goes, this seat right here is empty. You can sit right here. I said, okay, sounds good. So I went around, and I sat down. And sure enough, I ended up in first class next to the guy, and I didn't even talk to him because he just had his earphones on the entire time. And I watched some movie, and I don't know what language it was. It was maybe like Portuguese or Italian or something. I don't know, but it was really an exciting movie to watch. And I learned a lot, and I ended up having like 2 different meals, a dessert, every drink I wanted. It was just absolutely amazing. But it showed me that if you just kind of put your mind to something and you know what you want and you know what you're working towards, it will be there when the time is right for you. So instead of looking at it and saying, I don't have this, I want this now, I can't do that, just knowing that it will happen when it's supposed to happen, that was the key for me. So just knowing it's supposed to happen, and it will happen. It'll happen